All right, welcome to the strength training exercises for runners and triathletes from Coastal Sports and Wellness Medical Center. We're going to be talking about 6 different exercises today: the single leg squat touch, single leg deadlift touch, the modified push-up, the abdominal plank, Supermans, and then external hip rotations. First exercise that you should be doing as a runner or triathlete is a single leg touch squat. You're going to begin just by lifting one foot off the ground, just about 1 inch, and bend on the knee on the leg that you're standing on. And essentially what you want to do is try to almost sit down into the squat and keep that lifted leg just above the ground, as you can see in the picture on the right. Reach over and touch the stance foot with the opposite hand. So in this case, Evan's leaning over, touching the right hand to the left foot. You can repeat this 10 times for a total of 3 sets. The second exercise is the single leg deadlift touch. You're going to begin by lifting one foot off the ground, just about 1 inch. Bend forward at the hip on the stance leg, and keep the lifted leg, hip, back, and head in a straight line, as you can see in the picture on the right. Reach over and touch the stance foot with the opposite hand. So again, Evan's reaching over with his right hand, touching his left foot, and then you return to the same position just by dropping that back leg and coming on up, again trying to keep that body in a straight line. And again, this is an exercise you can do 10 times and repeat it for 3 sets, depending on what your ability level is. The modified push-ups are third exercise. And this we do so even a female runner should be able to do this. You want to start on your stomach with the knees bent to 90 degrees, as you see in the picture below. Position the hands slightly wider than the shoulders and push away from the floor. And as you do this, you want to maintain a plank position by contracting the abdominal muscles. Fully extend the arms as you come off the floor, and lower slowly back to the floor. And when you come on down, aim for the mat with the chest, not with the hips. Fourth exercise is the abdominal plank. You're going to begin with the face down with the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, hands flat on the mat. Contract the abdominal muscles and lift the midsection off the mat so only your elbows and toes are touching the floor. Hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds while keeping the abdominal muscles tight. You want to maintain that straight line. And also try to think of pulling the top of the pelvis or the front of the pelvis forward with the abdominal muscles as you contract them. Again, hold this for 10 to 20 seconds, and you can repeat this 10 times. Next exercise is Supermans, and this should be a pretty recognizable exercise for most folks. Begin face down with those arms extended overhead. And it's important to squeeze your glutes and contract the low back to actually activate the muscles. And this is going to allow you to raise your arms and legs off the mat. Hold that upright or Superman position for 5 to 10 seconds and return back to the mat to the starting position. And again, this is something you can repeat 10 times and 2 to 3 sets depending on where you are as far as your conditioning. The final exercise actually has 3 movements to it, and you can start off just by doing the first movement, and then as you progress, add the second or the third movement. These are all great exercises for the glute medius and do external hip rotation. So at the first movement, you're going to start with your hips flexed at about 40 degrees and the knees flexed to 90 degrees, as you see in the picture below. Keep your heels together and lift that top knee away from the bottom knee, and this is essentially what we also call a clamshell. And you can see here as that leg opens up and the heels are staying together. And this is that first movement. If you want to take it to a little bit more of an advanced movement, from this position with the knee open and the heel still touching, what you would do is just directly lift the top foot straight up and keeping that hip externally rotated. To complete that second movement, just lower the top foot back down to touch that heel, and then bring that knee back down to the starting position of movement 1. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with those 2 movements, the third movement you can do for the external hip rotation is once you get to the end of the second movement where you've taken that foot from the top foot from off the other foot and lifted it up, is that you then internally rotate or drop that top knee down towards the floor, as you can see from the left photo to the right photo. And then to finish that third movement, you just reverse it and you externally rotate, or you bring that knee back out so that the foot is and the heel is actually facing straight up. And that's our strength training exercises for runners and triathletes from Coastal Sports and Wellness Medical Center. You can find out more at www.coastalsportsmedicine.com. And if you're still listening, if you go to our website, put in your email address, we can send you some more exercises.